One love, Delta9 travelers. Welcome in to the International Digital Connection. Listen, we got so many headlines to get into, so many things to update you with on this live presentation. Please and thank you. If you can hear me, and you can hear me clearly, Delta9 travelers, drop a 9. Drop a 9 into the comment section for me. If you can hear me and hear me clearly, let me know that I'm coming through clear on your side of the globe. What's going on for your side, buddy? Grand rising to everyone that's a part of the live right now. Drop a 9 into the comment section for me, as long as I'm coming through clearly. Junia, thanks for tuning in and being a part of the live. Junia is saying good morning to Delta9. Looking on. All right, big up yourself, Junia. Thanks for being a part of the presentation. Marcia, welcome into the live, Marcia. Thanks for tuning in and for being a frequent traveler right here on this International Digital Connection. Listen, so many updates, so many headlines coming in with the MV Barima, among other very important and trending headlines. We're getting a call to action from members of the opposition. We want to know what are your views about that. We're going to get into these details among other very important and trending headlines. But what's going on with y'all though? What's going on your side, Delta9 travelers? Welcome in. Who's in the live with me from the early part? Who's live with me? Desiree. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in and being a part of the early morning presentation all the way from Canada. Telling you, we international and we ain't even on 10 minutes yet. Big up yourself, Desiree. Thanks for being a frequent traveler right over here on the International Digital Connection. Listen, so many things. Even though today is the third day of mourning, could be corrected. And hopefully persons realize that even though today is the third day and 3 days were what were awarded for this period, that this is something that will live with us as a nation. This is something that our brothers and sisters, hundreds of families were affected, right? So this is something that will be affecting us for years and years and years to come. So let's make sure that we keep that in our focus as we move forward, hold our loved ones a bit closer, because as we can all see, life is so short, right? Condolences to all the family members and all the loved ones definitely directly affected by the MV Barima tragedy. Big up to all the travelers in the live right now and all of them that's gonna catch it in the rewind in the future. One love, same way. Make sure you subscribe. And one of the very first headlines that we're gonna get into, because we got some, listen, certain things we definitely got to make sure that we bring to the front. We're gonna hear Mr. Mohamed interview one of the survivors from the MV Barima. We're gonna get those details among others right here on this presentation. Let's hear what's going on right here with Mr. Gordon Mosley and members of the panel.
I know persons are saying that now is not a time to look at blame, now is not a time to start to look at these things, but we have to start considering these moves, liability, whether criminal liability. We've heard about the captain of the vessel and one other crew member or two other crew members being arrested, and we're hearing all those stories. Now you have the survivors are also concerned. So what can you tell us when it comes to the various layers of liability when it comes to maritime disasters?
Well, there's nothing new under the sun, and this has happened in other places already. Well, I remember in Italy at the time in 2012, there was a large cruise ship which ended up hitting into a reef. It was left capsized there on a reef off of Italy, one of the Italian islands. And Netflix actually recently made a documentary on it, Shipwreck Nightmare at Sea. And just before this whole thing happened, I was watching it. And one of the things that stands out is that in that case, right, so this is something that's actually been litigated, there was criminal and civil liability. The captain of that ship, although he was found guilty of gross negligence and manslaughter, and he's still serving a prison term. He got the court found him guilty and gave him a 16-year prison term. Some of the other helmsmen and people involved in the bridge also got manslaughter charges. There was not much publicity about what their sentences would, but he is not set to be released until 2032. His name was Captain Francesco Chattoni. Right, I never forget the name. I also never forget that ship, that cruise ship, turned on its side. 32 people died in that particular incident. So, you know, there will always be questions of criminal liability where there is some sort of maritime disaster or accident or collision. Those have to be determined on the particular facts, but there is legislation in place to determine what those facts are, and if necessary, to charge. There are provisions in the Shipping Act that deal with sending out an unseaworthy ship. There also provisions relating to regulating passenger ships, how cargo is to be stored on deck and below deck. There's also a specific piece of legislation called the Shipping Investigation and Casualties Act, which allows for a board of inquiry. It also has charges, criminal charges for allowing a ship to be overloaded. So those are pieces of legislation. Of course, the time will come when this has to take its course legally. But like I said, there's nothing new under the sun, and there previous maritime disasters, if we can.
Telling you, nothing new under the sun. But why did it have to repeat in our jurisdiction if it is going to repeat? Because I know that there's no two fingerprints, right? So not everything is a copy. Big up to all the travelers live in the chat with me right now. People tuned in from Canada. We got people from Barbados. Shout out to all the international travelers. I'm telling you, this community is international. We connect with one another from all over the globe. Big up to everybody that's a part of the presentation right now, right? So that's some of the most recent updates coming in on what's going on with the MV Barima. But even more so, we're going to hear directly from persons affected. And who better to give us this information than a person sitting down with who? The leader of the opposition, highlighting these details about the recent tragedy. Pick up to all the travelers right now. Thanks for tuning in.
I was just swimming.
But what was the songs like in the water? Like, were people saying anything? Was anybody?
People was screaming. People was shouting. Me, I was shouting for my partner because before I left that boat, I said, "Go by this way." And all you seen was a little hole, and it was the sky. That's what I see. I swear to y'all. Now it's like me mind telling me, "Get to this hole, get to this hole." So when I told Cowboy, "Come this way," and I turned around, as soon as I said, "Cowboy, come this way," all you hear was a deafening. You know how steel bend, like a big. As soon as you hear that, the lights went click. You hear the engine stop, everything stop, and all you hearing is one set of screaming. I ain't remember nothing. I was just trying to remember how to stay afloat. I just want to get to the top because my mother came down here and buried my brother in 2012, and I promised her she would not do that to me. You understand me? So my whole thing is I wasn't thinking about her. I wasn't thinking about mama, baby, nothing. I was just thinking about find something to stay afloat because I already know I got a cast on my foot in my hand. So it's like that survival instinct kicked in. So as soon as I start treading, that's when you see one set of stuff bubbling up. At that time, the boat went down, right? And when I grabbed the it was a 5-gallon bottle, an empty bottle. I grabbed her. This boat come back up. And when this boat was going back down, it's like it's dragging me back down. The waves going up and coming down. So now when it come back down, it's just like grabbing me. And I realized, no, I can't stay afloat in this. But as I turn around, when you go up, you'll see stuff. When you come down, it's like you see in 360 water. When you go up, you'll see the lights and stuff. So now it's like when I go up, I'm looking for things. When I come down, I know I can't find nothing. When the wave bring me up again, that's when a big cooler comes up in front of me. Like came up from the boat, like whatever it was, it just come up. That's what I was trying to say, tell my homeboy too, cause at first I was showing him. We even went to the front of this boat. I was like, yo, come look at this shit. Be on you citation. Look at this. Cause every time this boat go up, when it come back down, you literally see stuff shifting. So I was saying every time this boat go up and come down, you'll see stuff shifting. I was like, look. You'll see the potatoes and stuff shifting. And every time it goes up, it'll shift more. And the way they pack this potatoes and stuff, it was like a wall.
Like a wall?
Yeah. So think about if you take a piece of here, a piece of there, this whole wall gonna drop. And I was telling me, soldier, I said, look, being you citation. You don't know how, and I'm playing. Said, bye, if you don't know how to play, if you don't know how to swim, grab a life jacket. I'm telling you. And we went our hammer.
Oh, so you mentioned this before?
Yes, for my God on the boat. My spider senses thing. My spider senses telling me, bye, you really need to go on this boat? Because like I said, me personally, I sell detector parts. And I know I was stocking up on my detector parts, stocking up, because people be wanting.
You lost a lot of stuff, cargo.
I lost all my stuff. That's why I told you I got two different slippers. I lost my suitcase, lost my bag, everything in clothes I lost.
Jeez. Telling you, rough times. But you're hearing it directly from one of the survivors from the MV Barima. You're getting the details coming directly from persons that were affected. One of the best ways for us to hear about it, right? Marcia is saying anybody captain that ferry must smoke and drink that sea breeze. The skull. I tell you. Marcia is saying, listen, you need something. You know? Simmer the self. You understand me? Yeah. Need something to simmer, Paulette. Thanks for being a part of the presentation, Paulette. And plus, for being a moderator over here on Delta9 Media. I'm telling you, the international community, we got persons Barbados, Canada, the US, Guyana. Where else are persons tuned in from as we analyze what's going on with the MV Barima? But you know, on Delta9 Media, how we usually analyze things is from many angles. So let's hear from one of the rescue team, and then we're gonna see if these stories are connecting. Right? New Year we're going on right there.
Very much. This is the part. They went in it done, went in it deep already. They were like almost in it deep.
Listen this part now. Listen what I'm saying.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right? This life, both what these guys them been in and this female them, you have the light on it. Right? In the night, it's like when you're driving to go to Georgetown City, it's so the light was out there, was floating, right? And who not there on the live ring, and what whole lamp can in the dark, you cannot see them, right? Because the water was very far, so people pull all direction. What is in around the area, we find early, right? But the other rest will drift. The other rest will drift way to Pomeroon out. Nobody could have find them that more early because when a boat sink from outside at Devonshire Castle to better success, nobody will expect these people and will pull away so fast, right? So you search in an area, and so fast you keep finding them, you keep going down. If you understand what I'm trying to tell you. So people start pick up very early, but what happened? Some pick up in the day, yes, because in the other boat that went with we, they pick up in the day.
I heard a man say something about 2, 3 o'clock. They pick up 6 persons. This is what they rescue. And he's only speaking off of the private company, both company that he was working with.
I don't know about that. I can't answer for that. But what I know from we gone out with, I can answer for that. Right?
How many you think for it?
We bring in 11, and the next boat get 3. But the other next boat, not fine. And some from Pamarum, me get through with some of them yet. They're still out there.
Okay. Anything else precious to what was being said just now?
Yes, I would like to thank you for coming out of your bed and rescuing who you could. We know you can't save everybody, but thank you for. I don't want you to think that I'm coming for you, but like I said, I've had experiences with persons who from Amerindian communities, and I know for a fact timings and direction they're perfect at because they're great navigators. They do not need a watch to tell you the time, and they're always spot on with that. Additionally, I would like to thank you because you're a hero. I don't know if anybody told you this, but you're a hero coming out of your house at that time, and those 11 persons who are now alive because you made that sacrifice. We do acknowledge that you did a good deed, because some persons would have seen that message and just decided, hey, I can deal with it in the morning, and probably those 11 persons would not have been here today. So we'd like to thank you for your thing. But the only thing I was trying to establish with you is that I do not believe they're lying about the timings, because they're spot on when it comes to timings and those things. They don't need a watch, right? Additionally, for those who went out there, probably they've seen this live. This is not, we understand that it's private citizens who could have been doing, getting the beauty sleep at that time, but you went out and you risked your life to save others, and that's the true Guyanese meaning of one people, one nation, one destiny, right?
I'm telling you, big up to all of those who definitely took the time out to go out and help out. That's what we do. That's how we just do it, buddy. We come together as a people and we look out for one another. You understand?
Oh, everything. The money I had, everything gone.
So, like, how much money?
Well, I got a little shop. I had 2 months rent to pay. I was supposed to be up there earlier, but by me having an accident, I stayed. So I had 2 months rent. Remember, when you get off these boats, you need hotel for the night. You need money to move. I walked with like 450. I lost everything. The chain I had on my neck, I lost up by probably swimming out or whatever. I don't know that could go its way, but I wanted my freedom, my. So it's like once these things happen, and you don't care about them stuff. You want about your well-being. But like I said, now after you have nothing, no phone, no nothing. When they told us we going back to Georgetown, when they came back and got me from the hospital and said, no, plans change. What we gonna do is, where you gotta go? You gonna keep on going to Kaitum? Or I'm like, go to Kaitum with what, big man?
Or before we get to there, so tell us when the ferry went down, the 87-year-old ferry too. 87-year-old ferry that should have been condemned, should have been in a junkyard, not today, years ago, decades ago. Tell us when the ferry went down, what happened between that time, 10:30, to when you were rescued.
As soon as it went down, like I said, and I got the survivor and got to that to that cooler, I was stuck in that cooler till 5 o'clock.
Oh, you went in the cooler?
No, I was just on it. I tell you, like they have a little boy.
Like a life jacket.
Yeah, I stick the broken hand too, because I had the cast and I locked on it and just stayed on it.
How big cooler?
It's decent size cooler. You know the coolers that they be putting the chicken and the beef in? One of those. So I don't know the real size. I can't know the size. Yeah, because it came sometimes I was throwing myself on top of the cooler and I was able to, until the wave bounced it over and,
You said the water was cold, eh?
It was cold and rough because at least where I was at was going, it was I was just holding on for dear life. You could just put it like that.
But even in that period, you were seeing other people or hearing other people.
You was
In the not,
hearing.
not at the beginning, not in the first, well, I kind of an estimated time for you because I
See, like
guess 2 minutes is
exactly,
forever. And
exactly as
so
we
in the
was
earlier stages, you were seeing people,
in the
and then
earlier
eventually
stage,
what?
you was seeing people and you was hearing people. Help, holla, you all right? You're good, y'all. Make sure y'all hold on to something. You hear people trying to be united. You understand me? Make sure y'all hold on to something that's floating. Make sure y'all hold on. And as you hearing these people drift, you just hearing these people drift apart, apart, apart. They just drifting apart. So, like I said, it came to a point. I don't.
Jeez, bro, I'm telling you, real traumatic. I'm telling you. Lindira, thanks for being a part of the live presentation. Big up yourself.
Know how long I was out there. I know I'll drop asleep. I don't know how long I sleep for, but it's like I know I sleep.
So what time you averaged your rescue?
I could say 4:30, 5 o'clock, because it started getting bright. And the thing about it is, when this boat first went down, it's like this captain shot a flare up in the air. And then they shot another flare up in the air, and the airplane come around. Because if you could see when they shot this, you
But
hearing.
I heard the airplane based on flight tracker and so came there around 2:33 in the morning.
Yeah, but like that's what I was saying. Once we got in that water, all sense of timing gone. You understand me? But I know they shot a flare up in the air. And from where I
Okay.
was drifting, it's
So
funny
they
because
had
the
flares and
atmosphere was
everything.
fire.
Okay.
Right there, you
That's what
see
you want
up
in.
here, and you see the flare going. And then not too long after that, you hear a plane. But we ain't know if a plane was coming for we or if the plane turned around. You don't know. But I know it's those times when you heard the plane, that's when you heard the flare. That's when you seen the flare, the
So
red
if they
flare.
had a flare, why did it take so long?
Understandable that you lose all sense of time and everything because you just say
Yeah,
that
1 minute.
If they had a flare that could have helped them to locate where this vessel would have went down originally, right? How come they take almost 5+ hours before they could have start a rescue mission? That's very, a lot of persons could have been saved within the time there. A lot of persons could have been saved within that time that Delta 9 travelers. What y'all think about that? Flares and stuff like that went up, so they could have, located where the persons at least were, or where the wreckage was originally, even if it would have drifted after sinking, right? So a lot of lives might have been saved around that time. You hear some more.
Feels like a year.
yes, yes, yes.
Um.
At 3:22 a.m.
Mhm.
Then it's been deactivated.
The flare.
They'll
Oh,
send out a helicopter and the plane.
Sad.
So 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 5 hours after. That is our search and rescue unit in Guyana.
Well, the truth is, it is evident, starting with, I mean, as recent as the Madia fires, and now this tragedy, that we don't have a system that kicks in automatically, um, in tragic situations. I understand that tragedies are things you cannot foresee, but when you have people, traveling on water, there's certain things that you can preempt whether or not it will happen. There are certain things that, if you don't ride a bicycle, you can't fall down. And so they are those things that you can automatically say could happen. And should these things happen, and should these things happen, these are the systems that we have in place to ensure, the safety and security of people's lives. But it sounds, to me, as though there was no care or concern for human life even before the boat left the dock,
Hmm.
just purely by what has happened. Listening
Some
to
kind of
some
stupidness had to
people
go down
talk
also,
about the
you know?
the boat crew complaining about, the boat having, mechanical issues, complaining about the stacking of the boat. That in itself says that the problem started even before, the boat left the dock, and that is extremely unfortunate. Um, but in the time the flare went off, that I guess for you was a sign of hope. What was your thought process in that seeing the flare, hearing the helicopter? What was going through your mind at that time?
My mind was like, help on its way. That's the only
Mm.
thing I could think about, help on its way, but help never came.
Okay.
What?
Help,
Help
Wow.
never
help came
came.
at 5 a.m.
Help came when the light was
That's what I'm
turned on,
saying.
Help came at
when it was
5
That's
a.m.
exactly what I'm saying.
One night on the cooler.
Flares
7 hours
is a
left
sign
for
of
them.
distress.
Our
Persons
brothers and
should,
sisters,
start
babies,
making the way over to the
let them
location.
Oh my
remember,
God! There could have
right?
been people who could have been
Pensioners,
saved had it.
everyone
Yes.
had to spend 7 hours. I talked to so many survivors, and they told me all the stories matching up.
Hmm.
10:30, the vessel went down. It was overloaded. Um, they were rescued at 5 a.m.
and then where they put that damn casket. I
There was
told
a
my
casket on board.
Yeah, and I told my partner, this is a jumbie thing, man. Why they gotta put it? And anytime you look to the front, you see this casket,
A body was
And I
No,
going
they
back
had
said,
a
home.
body,
Yeah,
a
they had a
woman.
body was going back home.
and from then I was like,
Mm.
I don't like this. Is bad. That's a bad omen. I tell me partner, that's a bad
Mm.
omen. Probably, and probably, like I told me friends, I told all my friends, I seen the thing coming, yo. People think I'm lying. I seen the thing happening.
You had that feeling.
Cause
You should
yeah,
be
the way
glad to
they
be
had that
alive.
place crammed jack locker. And then when you trying to walk people, you sucking your teeth and you trying to understand, man, why you gonna lay there? But you gonna realize this place is too packed. You gotta step here, wait till the boat rock, then take another step through people, over people. I said, nah, this ain't right.
Wow.
And me soldier was with me all that whole day, and I was just busting my mouth, yo, this the brown, something wrong with this. Nah, spider sense is tingling. And it's like I kept on drilling that in his head, drilling that in his head. Cause I never seen a boat where you go ride along in the water and the damn water is just right an inch under it, and a big boat like this. Nah, that's what had me worried. That's probably why I live, cause I seen this thing coming.
So
Mm.
if we could backpedal a little bit, to when you guys were playing dominance on, did what was happening on the boat come up at the domino table? I know you
It
and your
ain't
friend
come up
spoke
all
about
the
it,
way
but
to the domino
no,
table.
no,
The
no. I mean
water,
the discussion of the water coming in,
that
the
water.
overload. Did you guys talk about that or?
Yeah, we was talking about that, but like I said, we was trying not to talk about it. Because they're
Mm.
trying not to, trying to
Not
put
to jinx
yourself, your
yourself.
thoughts in these places.
Yeah.
But me, I kept on picking because this was a different ride. I rode that steamer all the time. This was a different ride. And when you walk certain places and you look at the level of this water and this boat, that's what had me scared. Now it's like I should have never came in this shit.
So, what do you think about the experience of the captain? How much years, the captain traveled with him?
Well, I took a break off because I had a brother that got killed in the interior, right? So I take a little while off. But as I started recently going back, you don't see that captain. I don't really see that captain like that. Captain to come downstairs, yes, if it's about the boat, like board, or if he coming out for a drink or the food or whatever, that's the only time you see the captain. Like captain don't come down and hang out at tile. You understand me? They just stay upstairs with their little crew or whatever the case may be. The only time you'll see this man coming downstairs if you gotta, I guess they must bathe, and you see him walking out with he bowl of food. You don't see the captain like that. You see all them the dudes that sell the beer, that sell the bottle, and his brother that's do the cook and his brother.
Yeah.
You see them down there. You see everybody else down there. Like I said, all the other workers will come down there. That's where they buy their drinks and gaff and knock their dominoes and stuff like that.
Mm.
All through this trip, dumb workmans was complaining. They wasn't nice. They was not liking that trip. They was not liking that trip.
Complaining among themselves about the
Huh?
water coming in, the load, that sort of thing, or?
And this not working and that not working. And they had they had one of the workers trying to fix the water pump on the way in. How you gonna fix it going up there? So he'll come back looking greasy and dirty. Hey, boy, give me a bank spray there, boy. I need a bank spray. They got me doing a bundless. We could have fixed this in tongue and wool. You hearing the complaints. That's why my spill is like, that's why me, I was always on point, because I'm like, even a walk man know this thing got a problem. And I'm telling me, partner, A, B, or your citation. He's like, why? I said, they got some dead person from leading this. You understand? I'm just gaffing. They got some dead person.
I'm telling you, times that will etch a mark on the memories of so many of us for so many years to come, right? And they had ceremonies for solidarity, for memorial. Rising power to all those that would have transcended, and condolences to their family and all their loved ones.
For those persons who are joining,
Persons coming out in their number to make sure that, listen, they stand in solidarity, because it's more than, you got to say, almost 200 plus families that are going to be affected. So persons are saying, listen, it's time. It's time to do things differently. It's time to move in a particular manner that will allow the change that is necessary. It's time that the opposition has a level of unity and brings persons together to ensure that things are put in the right perspective. Maybe here's some of what the leader of VPA got to say about that, among other details.
This is with a heavy heart I'm making this video. I don't think we should take any more of this. Guyana does not belong to the PPP. It does not belong to the PNC. It does not belong to WIN. It belongs to all of us. That we are going to continue to sit and to allow any government to leave our pensioners starving, to leave our teachers suffering, to leave our police officer that can't make it through the month, our soldiers, to leave our single mothers without a home, to give it to foreigners, to continue to make us the citizens of this country, and I'm speaking because of my own pain, to continue to suffer in this country. I called for the pensioner last because these people were the backbone of this country. I've spoke earlier about our indigenous people, the way we have been treated. People, if you look at the news today, they got all the money to give us. You know why? Because they want to lie to you again. So tonight, I'm making this video to tell each and every one of the right-minded, right-thinking Guyanese who feels that enough is enough. It is time we make our voices heard. They have stripped me, and I've decided not just to fight for myself, but to fight for all of you. I cannot do it by myself. So this here is a call on the entire opposition for us to mobilize our people and demand our fair share of this country. I'm speaking here in a lot of pain. I have not even gotten to the disaster. We just lost over 100 Guyanese. And to watch the politician of this country sit on national television and talk to us like we're stupid. Ask Minister Edgell to tell you where was the goddamn scale that he used, or the government, or the port was using to weigh that ship, the weight that was going on that ship. There isn't any.
There isn't a scale. So all of this was going by average, or they were looking at the load line from the outside in the water. What was really going on? Because we hear persons that were there and survived point out the fact that, listen, the edge of the boat or the top of the boat was close to the water. And he said he travels on the ship a lot. He travels on this vessel a lot, obviously, because he gets shot up in the interior. I tell you, let me hear some more, you know. Because, listen, after one time is the next, buddy.
Ask them. Ask Minister Edgell to demonstrate how his family was able to ascertain that much wealth in such short time. And we can continue to go through all the ministry and the corruption we've seen in this country. I ask you this question. If I'm to walk down Regent Street and just take your phone away from you, I'll probably be beaten to death. Why is it that we are continually sitting down and allowing a few people to rob us daily? I am not asking for anyone to come out and create any violence. I'm asking you, and I'm begging you, it is time for us to put our boots on the ground and demand our fair share. How much more of this we're gonna, every time I pick my phone up, a company named BMSOT is taking advantage of our citizens, nothing ain't happening. A man named Sheriff beat him out with a spade, nothing ain't happening. A mother called me yesterday, she come to collect her salary, she worked for the entire month, Sheriff wouldn't pay her. She paid NIS for 2 years. Where is the justice for our people? Where is the justice for our indigenous people? Where is the justice for our pensioners? How much more of this are we going to take, people? This here today, this here, I don't know how much more I can do. I can run my mouth, I can be your voice, but if you're not willing to stand with me, I don't think we're going to get anything done, people. I'm calling on the entire opposition. I'm calling on civil society. We're not asking for any violence. What I'm asking of you is to stop the Facebook bickering and let us go out there peacefully and demand.
So persons are saying, call when it's time for action. Well, guess what? Honorable Mr. Best is saying, hey, it's action time, buddy. Who ready? Who ready? Boots on the ground. Greetings, you're on to Delta9 Media Live. Every time. Same to you, King. What's going on your side?
No, my brother. I'm cool, man. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Always your side on it.
Can't complain at all, man. Nice and cool morning, summertime, you know, weekend.
But it's good, you know, that we could wake up and we could share this sentiment with each other.
Yeah, man. Always got to bring the joy. Yeah.
But what could have related, man, you know?
Well, that's why, remember now when you're going up on a plane, right? You always got to put on your mask first and then you look to help others. So you got to make sure that your energy is at least at 75. So you could send good energy and assist others in other ways. You understand, man? And that's all it's about. But what's going on on your side and what's going on with the topics right now? What do you think about what Mr. Best is saying?
I must continue to pour out my heartfelt condolence to all the people grieving, all the family, all the survivors. Kudos to you guys that God was with you guys, and God was with a lot of more people.
Yeah.
If you understand. There could have been like 100 and something people probably would have been rescued if rescue would have been there on time.
We were speculating about the flare, but there was flares. So given that there were flares, like, come on, 4 hours of flares.
I thought that when how the guy speak was the Coast Guard shoot the flare.
Yeah.
But now you're hearing is the captain shoot the flare.
Exactly.
Which is
much
the right
earlier.
protocol.
Yeah.
Which was the right protocol because the flare supposed always that is disposal.
Yep. Yep.
And that just to show the level of disrespect they have for that captain because not even the Prime Minister could have tell you who should that player. They did not even ask for information to tell you who should the player.
Well, they're supposed to get the information because one of the persons,
It's a civilian should the player.
So where the civilian get flare gun from?
That is my question was like, how come a civilian get it there? So I was on advance and saying that is the Coast Guard who come close by and shoot the player.
But now you hear from the survivor. The survivor saying that the survivor is saying that when the flare was shot, it still took them a while to come. So we know it can't be the Coast Guard.
Yeah, because if the player shoot, if the player, they say the player shoot like after 3 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Now, my question was, what that plane in the area, what that plane did? Because he said, when the plane shot, he heard the sound of the plane. And that was my theory. What information does that plane
the plane would get
rescue 3 hours after?
The plane supposed to get exact coordinates of where they would have observed the plane. You understand? So that should help a big deal with any rescue that was going on over the night. Like, man, this messed up when you think about how many persons could have been saved with this. Somebody got answer for this.
A lot of people get strong. A lot of people couldn't hold on no more.
Yeah.
Because the water is very cold, my brother. And it's very rough.
And in night time too, you can't see nothing.
Sometimes who tell you that thing come and bite your foot and you lose sharp and that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And listen to this on a serious note, brother. The Prime Minister was on Zoom this morning.
Yeah.
My brother. The Prime Minister thanked every single body that coordinated that search and rescue.
Yeah.
You could tell me who it is that thank?
He thank the captain.
No, that's the one. The captain and rescue and people pick up. Like they will just pick up the
the person that he thank the opposition leader Mr. Mohamed and the team of persons that were out there.
You say it's government special,
but it is not even. That's just some petty foolishness because everybody out there is able to see what's going on and analyze. That there were other persons there assisting. It don't worry though. Remember now? Yeah.
I must say, don't matter this is political or whatever, but I must pick up the opposition leader for a job well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, this government special, bro. And you talking about one Guyana? How this country could be one Guyana?
Yo, serious. Big up yourself.
Before listen to this now. You know yesterday I told you the British start of 10 o'clock yesterday morning. And we had Guyana play 7 o'clock. And you know, yesterday's game, they did not even mention nothing about that tragedy. You could have Guyanese people still going to that cricket game.
That's crazy. That is
And now they're telling you,
beyond
the
callous.
final, they will put the final proceed in event of towards the tragedy.
Okay.
Now they're telling you though, this on the news this morning.
Okay.
Because they want a lot of people to go and things. Why they didn't say that the cricket is free? The whole cricket is free. So on, just relax your mind.
I tell
See
you.
these people that need to go that way. And this master is going on the ground, his boots on the ground, bro.
Boots on the ground.
On the ground.
Big up yourself.
Big up yourself, bro.
Thanks for calling in and for dropping them vibes with us. So we could start to analyze this thing from a real place, you know. Big up to all the travelers that are live right now in the chat. Have you taken a couple of seconds to thumbs up the live, ladies and gentlemen? Thumbs up the live, man. Thumbs up the live. Because guess what? The opposition leader was also highlighting this about the tragedy that went down.
So one of my boats now, after they found the little boy, they come in with the little boy. So they had to get some gas to go to charity. Because I had to head back to Georgetown with my boats. Right? So I asked the guy there, the soldier, since you're giving out gasoline, and this gasoline, you know, I was gaffing with it, this gasoline belongs to the PPP. It belongs, taxpayers' money purchase this gasoline. That we found the body, and we're low on gasoline. Because I'm using my own money with gasoline all the time. I don't want to collect anything from them too. So I'm using my own money. I have no problem with this. So, do you know, I messaged Mark Phillips, I messaged the Prime Minister that we need some gasoline. We got a young man in one of our boats. He said, contact some Shamsuddin. He in charge of the Coast Guard. I messaged the Shamsuddin. Look here, man. The nation must see how wicked these people are, how wicked they are. And then they just be upset with me when I talk the truth. But I will continue to speak the truth.
Speak the truth and speak it always.
Exactly, tell it as it is. Can't sugarcoat the truth.
Yeah. Look here, Mark Phillips. Look.
Today we decided to
taxpayers, you, everyone, monies bought these helicopters. These helicopters concerning the fuel for the charity boatman that works for me. Look for bodies too. I see them guys giving out gas. You know, I'm happy for this. I'm happy. So one of my boats now, after they found the little boy, they come in with the little boy. So they had to get some gas to go to charity. Because I had to head back to Georgetown with my boats. Right? So I asked the guy there, the soldier, since you're giving out gasoline, and this gasoline, you know, I was gaffing with it, this gasoline belongs to the PPP. It belongs, taxpayers' money purchase this gasoline. That we found the body, and we're low on gasoline. Because I'm using my own money with gasoline all the time. I don't want to collect anything from them too. So I'm using my own money. I have no problem with this. So, do you know, I messaged Mark Phillips, I messaged the Prime Minister that we need some gasoline. We got a young man in one of our boats. He said, contact some Shamsuddin. He in charge of the Coast Guard. I messaged the Shamsuddin. Look here, man. The nation must see how wicked these people are, how wicked they are. And then they just be upset with me when I talk the truth. But I will continue to speak the truth.
Speak the truth and speak it always.
Exactly, tell it as it is. Can't sugarcoat the truth.
Yeah. Look here, Mark Phillips. Look.
Today we decided
I messaged the Prime Minister that we need. So you see who these guys? I called the chief of staff. He sent me Shamshuddin's number. This is the guy in charge of the Coast Guard. I messaged him, I called him, he never returned the call because he know already as I'm called that I call him.
Right.
I said they're carrying the child to charity. So I called Mr. Phillips back at 3:03 p.m. He said, Colonel Roberts should have called you by now. I said, Chief, because I want to show him respect, the office he's holding. I said, Chief, I'm here 1 hour now. No one called. He said, okay. So then I messaged him this. Never received a call concerning the fuel for the charity boatman that works for me. Remember, this fuel doesn't belong to the PPP. Let us all be guided that our role is to look after the affairs of the people. I ensure I gave him fuel from me, and the body of the kid was delivered to charity.
And he responded?
No, he didn't respond.
But I believe after this, we were told to come off the vessel. All the time we've been on the vessel.
No, this was after. So you see who these guys? I called the chief of staff. I messaged him. Man failed to respond. I called the guy in charge of the Coast Guard, Mr. Mark Phillips. The Prime Minister gave me the number. Not responding. So how can we move ahead? How can we work for a better country when we have a national disaster tragedy and these people, right, got the gasoline there? Now I asked them, just the man want a little gas to go into charity because we headed back to Georgia.
So that might be one of the reasons why we see persons taking so long to respond. I wonder if persons realize just how many hours and how long of a period it took for them to really have a rescue team over there. But the persons could have jumped on a plane and come all the way to the US in that time. Come through customs. You understand? Gone through all the way by Little Guyana, done there by Sibyl's, or done gone down somewhere, meet up with your family somewhere else. 5+ hours. It's a long time. And then we hearing this conversation about what's going on right here with gas and all of them things coming in from the leader of the opposition. What y'all think about this Delta9 travelers? Because it's terrible, It's real treacherous when you hear these kind of things because guess what? That's the people's resources and it should be used in these times, especially when persons are in need. We hear some more coming in from the leader of the opposition. Greetings, you're on to Delta9 Media Live.
No, brother.
Yeah.
Guyana is in a mourn for this tragedy. This is a national tragedy, brother.
Yeah.
And you could see from the inception that the PPP don't want no opposition to take part in this national disaster. You see what's going on? You read through the line?
Yeah.
Every time the opposition play a part,
the slap down. The slap down. Yep.
They put and cut. They chasing. They people throw water upon the MPs. Ice water to the top. How they are running like this, though? And a weird guy, he sit down and allowing his government to do all this nonsense to that means. And the ABC countries are not saying anything. The diplomatic corps are not saying anything.
Yeah.
The U.S. embassy, they're not bringing out a statement to say anything. What's really going on in our country of Guyana?
There's a question that a lot of persons are asking, and that's why I could feel the sentiments coming from Mr. Best when he's saying, listen, it's boots on the ground because what's next? What's going to be next?
Yeah, because look at this thing. You have to get ID to bank account to get your $100,000 in February, my brother. But you were able to go on the scene and give it to your 50,000 to go home. Don't come back. Go home. Yeah, look, 50,000 where you are. Right? You want to show me one flower? Look, 100,000. Look, you have 200,000.
And the tie-on, right? Yeah, on the scene, right? The tie-on for the little 100. Exactly.
Where they get this money from to give these people in their game?
Yeah.
The things come down to this government,
yeah.
And we have the guys who sit down and allowing these people come to do this stuff. Yeah?
Telling you. Boots on the ground, that's what Mr. Best saying. Big up yourself, King. Thanks for calling in. That's what Mr. Best is saying right now. What y'all think about what Honorable Mr. Best is highlighting? Let's get some more of these details.
Of the leader. When we vote President Ali into office, it wasn't to tell him take our money and turn it his and 40 of his friends. We asked of him to manage our wealth. And the politicians of the day, has been robbing us. Unless we open our eyes and demand. The way I'm feeling right now, people, if I have to die for this country, I'm prepared to. Because what this government would have done to just me, I feel like I have a responsibility to carry the burden for not just me, but for every Guyanese. To know. Listen, people. I'm ready to go on the street and stand up for you. And I'm asking of you to join me. There's a breaking point in every man's life. This is mine. I'm not going to allow this government to continue to rob the Guyanese people one more day. I'm going out there and I'm asking of you to join me peacefully and demand our fair share. I spoke to my kids tonight and it hurt because they're looking at what's happening in Guyana and they're hurt. And they're asking me questions. Daddy, what about even your life? What about the injustice against you? I say it's not even about me anymore. It's about Guyana.
Crazy.
And I'm saying it to you people. Let us go out there. Stand with me and demand. There's enough wealth in this country. Every corner there's a Chinese. Why?
That's a good question. And a lot of persons are definitely complaining about that and a lot of other things that's going on, you know. If this disaster didn't happen, we wouldn't have known the president sneak out for going watch football. I telling you. Big up yourself, June. Thanks for being a part of the live presentation, plus for being a frequent traveler on Delta9 Media. I'm telling you, listen, boy. Listen. We got persons surprised at what they're hearing right here. Marcia saying, put Ejil behind bars. Here's some more coming in.
Not even the truckers can get a job. Why? Why? Are we only good enough to clean drains? Why? People, I'm begging of you, stop being taken advantage of. Let us go out there.
But they are the face, Ejil, Phillips, and the man at the transport and I think it's Thomas is his name. That is what you have. But listen to this other person speaking about it. Listen.
Minister Ejil, it's too early. You need to stop it. As a matter of fact, you owe the Guyanese people an apology. You need to stop it. Too many testimonies have been shared by survivors.
Yes.
The vessel was overloaded.
Overloaded.
The vessel was taken in water. One of the engines were having a problem. In fact, the vessel was in no position, it was in no condition to take off. Should not have taken off. Survivors have shared their testimonies on their losses of children. I'm not even counting the adults. Losses of children. Those are children of this nation. It is too early to come out and be lying to the Guyanese people. So you need to stop it. First of all, be the minister that you are. And I don't mean a minister in government. You're first of all a minister of a church. It won't take much out of you to be truthful. So stop it. It's too early. Now is a time to sympathize with those people, to give them all the necessary support they need, joining hands with the opposition party, and not just the main opposition, all small oppositions in this fight for those survivors. It is a great loss to the nation of Guyana. It's a sad moment for those people. And it is critically unfair for you to come out this early just to call them liars. So far, we have not heard or seen anyone. We are paying very keen attention to the situation. We have not heard or seen anyone that made the claim that the vessel wasn't overloaded or it wasn't taking water. Every survivor mentioned the vessel was taking water. It was overloaded. It had an engine problem. People were drinking. So stop it. Stop it.
You know, most of the people who were on that vessel, or most would have been our indigenous brothers and sisters, based on those who we saw there coming to charity with the intention of identifying bodies that are brought aboard. Indigenous brothers and sisters. This government has shown scant regards for that community. You had the Madja fire. You know what transpired there. The Madja fire. Now here you have a lot of people, many of whom are from the Amorin.
For 3/4 to an hour trying to get it off. And when they get it off, it start working from one engine and they still go with it. They stop. You got the mechanic man working in the engine and still forcing the boat to go. I feel the boat must be black up somewhere or something because right? I was sitting in the hammock and I saw the boat go like this.
Another survivor said the same thing, you know. See how the stories them connect. You see why it's good to analyze as many parts as possible, Delta9 travelers. Remember the other person that survived that was just talking with the opposition leader also said that, listen, they were trying to fix things while they were moving at the same time. And you're hearing them complaining about having to do so and going in and out, trying to get things rectified. Well, guess what? We hear another person highlighting the same issue. You see, listen, please and thank you. Thumbs up the live. Let persons all over the globe get a chance to hear these stories coming directly from those that would have survived, directly from people affected, highlighting the details to what's going on. So they can't cover up no details to what's going on right here with no gaslighting conversation. Right? Let me hear some more about this. And then we're going to hear from the top cop himself.
And then after I wait, and when it roll over, watching it going back like but the keep guy move home. So what I did, I waited when it raised up and I plunged. And the wave shy me back in the boat. So I had to just lose my bag and start fighting to catch it up. I checked up, it sent me back again. 2 times I get through back. But I just relax, catch myself and start paddling and I come up top. When I come up and I see the lights, I start praise pad and I start swimming. I will arm from 2 Vanillin, 2 long Vanillin, 4, hold arm under, then I watch to see a bottle, hold on in the bottle, and hold on in the gas bottle and hug the 2 together. And I got about 4 or 9 other people come and we were on that. We even had to go with your baby, hold it, and that was it.
Thank you, sir.
And I came my last 1.8 because
so much to analyze about that.
Have to suffer again. How much will these people, more can these people take? How much more? And let me say this. Hope that the people are advising them, because if we have to go by what took place when we had the Madja fire, government is going to send people there to make them offers. People who have lost their loved ones, well, not only in the Amerindian or the indigenous communities elsewhere, they're going to go there to make them offers. When we had the Madja, the offer was $5 million Guyana dollars to the parents of the persons who died. And I think $3 million to those who were injured. So watch out. Watch out. They're going to send for those survivors who are traumatized. They're going to want to make some type of offer. People, y'all should lie up. Make sure don't take any BS from them. People should be advising these people. Because I saw a video where some of them don't even speak English. People should be advising them how to approach this situation. Because twist it and turn it, the vessel belongs to the government. And as was revealed yesterday, last evening, government vessels and vehicles don't have insurance. So you can't say you're going to no insurance company for you to be compensated. The government, once it's government car, truck, whatever, vessels, they don't have insurance. So in case you already know that, now you know. Government vessels don't have insurance, so therefore you can't go and claim against no insurance, and these people have scant regards for the lives of people. Remember when the judge ruled in the favor of the Quindon Bacchus estate, and the judge offered them, Quindon Bacchus instead was shot and killed by, he was shot and killed by a special branch rank, he got off. The judge awarded damages in the sum of, I think, $20 million. And the Agile, not Agile, sorry. Nonetheless, said no, they're paying, they're going to appeal that. Even though they had conceded that the police were wrong. They said no, they're going to contest that. They're going to appeal. Luckily for the estate, and I say that luckily, it was the lead up to general and regional elections last year. And because they wanted vote, they wanted to people believe that they are the nice, then the president said, no, we're not going to.
Greetings, we're on to Delta9 Media.
Hi, yes, good morning. I'm calling reference to what Mr. Theo is saying about the insurance, government vehicles that don't have no insurance.
Yeah.
Why government insure vehicles, no vessels, don't have insurance when they are pressuring us as local drivers and also have insurance? I don't think it's right. Everybody should have insurance because if an incident happens, who pay for that person hospital bill and all of that? They need to put things in place. Now with this strategy that's happening in Guyana, the afternoon, the wind, the movement, all of them need to come together. Now it's a time to come together and move these regime, the PPP regime, out of office. Like someone said, it seems like they're sacrificing people's lives to get where they want to get. Nadia gone. Adriana Young, they said accountability. They will do it not stone left unturned. Where are all those cases went to? Integrate with them. Now this one's gonna go integrate. Mr. Mohammed, yes, he did it wrong, but he is out there doing what he's supposed to do to these people. Then look at Sherrod. Sherrod went out there to do his announcement and to see and to talk to the people. They locked him up.
Yep.
Then before they lock up somebody who went there to protest. They locked them up. Why have they locked up? And you get a smile on his face like nothing happened, because you know why he's smiling? Because it don't concern him and it's not his family.
Sad reality. Real
but
sad
my
reality.
condolence go out to the people who lost the children, the pregnant woman, and all. Like Mr. Mohammed analyzed it very well, and the press conference that they had,
Yes.
the joint press conference,
Yes.
they put it in place. So let us in Guyana do and hold hands in solidarity that these things will never happen again. I travel on that boat when it was national service time and all of that.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing. And the boat used to overload. So they don't need to fool nobody. I went to Kimbia, I went to Matthews Ridge, I went to all over because I was in the service.
Mm.
And then Mr. Mark Phillips, as a prime minister, who was a brigadier, he don't know nothing about Guyana as an army man, because he can't even answer a question. He never went up into the river. The helicopter went down. We don't hear nothing more than they just give a highlight. And
But
these
they can't,
people
they
need to
can't
stand
treat,
up.
they can't treat this situation like that, because why? The magnitude is way too many persons, and I don't think Guyana is going to allow that to be the case.
And everybody who was on the boat falling onto the same thing that happened.
Yeah.
He's saying people who survive at the hospital, those are people who they carry there to say those things and they don't know anything.
Yeah.
Because some of them cannot even answer the question when the media ask them, or the people that ask them the question, they cannot answer.
Yeah, because some of them
They
don't even
cannot
know English.
answer.
Yeah.
I mean, if we look at this thing, and you know what? The thing says people in Guyana are dumb and stupid. But they're not dumb, they're not stupid, they are well-educated people.
And they're in
But
for a
it's just that
surprise.
they-
Yeah.
it's only that when they push the money in the hand, it comes to be that way.
Yeah.
Because so a lot of people don't want to speak up. You can get one person come out and start a protest without no incident. All I want them to do, don't start burning anything in Guyana.
Yes.
Do it the right way.
Definitely.
No fighting, no burning tires or anything on the road.
Definitely.
And is that what they want? Look at Ali. Ali there was Super Bowl. Instead he get a plane that could come and get him right back into Guyana to what happened. He get playing watching football. Or soccer or whatever he came and watch.
Yeah.
Let me do what we have to do. Some people don't want to speak out because they're afraid that they're going to target them. That's why God gives you a tongue in your mouth to speak the truth, and the truth will prevail.
Every time. Every
The truth
single
will
time.
prevail. But again, like they say, he needs to go because he's not doing anything. Like someone said, you can cover, like the minister said, you can cover a pothole, but you can't cover a hole in somebody's heart who lose 7 children and even one person.
Yeah, that's a very traumatic situation for that lady.
You understand?
And,
Because
it's
if
really
you
rough.
have a family member that's sick and die, you feel it so hard. What about this?
7
Especially
children.
the babies them that could not even cry, the water go in the lungs and drowned. Can you imagine? But anyway, the Lord be with them that lost their family member. May they find comfort in this in their soul. And may these people soul rest in peace. May the family and let us surround and solidarity with them. I ask in your name of your son Jesus. Amen.
Thank you for calling
and Delta9, thank you for your incredible news that you bring to us day by day.
And thank you for tuning in
and
being a part
God
of the
bless
presentation.
you.
Thank you. Have a great
Bye.
one.
You too.
Insightful. And persons calling in from all over the globe, sharing their views on what's going on, right? They could say, what do I say, but guess what? We know that Guyana ain't got no stupid people. Well, they got some. They got one and two, but most of we got we head on and we analyzing what's going on right here. Greetings. You're on to Delta9 Media Live.
Yeah, my brother, I supported that lady, I heard the pain in her voice, I heard the distress, I heard everything, And that is the message Chinese people need to accomplish, bro. We need to get this message over to all of our Guyanese people. Guyanese people, we need to come out. We need to hit the street. And the first protest, it should happen at a cricket match going on 10 o'clock today, my brother. Let's get the whole world see, because they get a lot of camera there. That is where the protest supposed to be started, my brother. Let's get our placard and go to the cricket match. We're going to watch cricket today. We're going to participate in the cricket match. We're going to lash a lot of sticks, a lot of four with our placard, my brother.
Well,
that is where we go in today. 10 o'clock today is the cricket match starting. Imagine these people even know nothing pertaining to the disaster that's happening in Guyana. And my brother, I listen to the one day, my brother, when I had in Barbados, when I had the Prime Minister of Barbados, Martley, she speaks everything about our fallen hero, Sir Garfield. No disrespect to him. He's a good man. But I wanted to know if she did have any information about our tragedy that happened. She did not speak anything pertaining to Guyana tragedy, my brother. Nothing.
A lot of persons probably
for like 15 minutes, my brother.
A lot of persons probably now learning, or they probably chose not to mention it. But I'm sure that she would have known about it by now, because I got a lot of Guyanese in Barbados, man.
No, but it was all over the news, my brother.
Yeah.
That was world news.
Yeah.
Early morning, that's his world news, my brother.
Real thing.
And that fake AI generated thing where they have but ship can't over those people in the water. Why they do that? Everything is share AI.
You gotta be aware. You gotta be very aware these days. That's where you gotta be aware.
This thing happened when the ship went down. When they get daytime picture with ship turning over.
Exactly.
And there's not a ship they get it. They get a boat there. There's not a ship.
Good. There's probably somebody typing a prompt and bring up there, you know what I mean? But that's how it is, though.
Yeah, but people have to be careful because that is being spread all the time. And remember, they did not tell the people that the 133 people are forced,
Yeah.
Because the report saying it was 116 passengers.
Okay.
So why they call the crew members passengers and get the people thinking it's 116?
From Orleans, from Orleans.
Some people remember plus the 116.
Yeah.
Everybody gets it at 16 passengers.
Yeah.
116.
Okay. Big up yourself, King. Thanks for calling in.
Listen before I go with that stuff. Your family is always be afraid of when some family member dies, that they don't want the horse in front of them. You know that?
Yeah, they say the dead is supposed to leave.
But the dead was leaving that everyone, because the woman, when he was really catching up for Berry, she was in front and she was leading the ship.
Wow.
And they can't even find her body. So she died 2 times, my brother.
Wow.
It's so upsetting. And they listening, brother. That was full.
Listen,
But let us remember, 10 o'clock, the cricket match, we have to go there and start our protest, my brother. One love.
One love. I'm telling you, this tragedy, as you analyze this tragedy, call on 609. My apologies for missing your call. Caller on 609. Give us a call back if you would still like to voice your opinion on what's going on right here with these headlines as we analyze what's going on with the poll. Analyzing the MV Barima tragedy. Should Ejil resign? 81% is saying yes, resign immediately. 19% is saying no, stay and fix the issues. 19% is saying stay and fix the issues. We are saying Delta9 travelers. Participate in the poll. It's live, still up, and you can participate. Drop your comments in the comment section and you can see the barcode. Well, not the barcode, but the hotline number is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Big up to all the travelers right now and to everyone that take time out to call in. Big up yourself. Greetings. You're on to Delta9 Media Live.
Yeah, blessings, bro.
Yeah.
I see this is my opinion again. I see this thing as a willful, like it's a sacrifice. Right? As it takes so long to respond to a tragedy like that, like it's a deliberate something, I would call it a sacrifice.
Because we hear about the flares being fired when the vessel went down initially. So how come they take so many hours to send in a response on a rescue team? You know?
Right. So I will put it as though it's a sacrifice. So a sacrifice, they will not respond immediately because they could have got here in 2 hours, 1 hour, something.
Wow.
But I think now it's time for the Guyanese people take the streets. Positive.
Yeah.
Take the streets for a month or 2 months. Take the streets and get the government out. That's the only solution right now. Take the streets. Talking. They want you talking.
Boots on the ground.
Let it take the streets. Yeah, take the streets. That's it. And get rid of the PPP. That's it, my brother. The streets is it.
All right. Thanks for calling in and dropping those insights.
Yeah, brother. Good.
One love. People are saying, listen, it's time for boots on the ground with all that's going on. With all that's going on, all of this negligence, the fact that persons are announcing stuff like this in the house, right? Persons made these announcements.
Mr. Chairman, the new vessel that is expected to come on stream would be the MV Malaysia, which is en route to Guyana. It has left Port Calcutta and it's coming to Guyana. That boat will service the Georgetown Region 1 route, making stops at Mabaruma, Marijuana, Port Kaituma. And
I know
that will replace.
I have something I want to read. Somebody posted, I think, this morning. And here is the part that should keep everyone of us awake. There was somebody post. A brand new, fully air-conditioned roll-on, roll-off vessel, the Kalopoli N, built to carry 264 passengers, 82 cars, and 19 trucks, arrived in Guyana in May, assigned by the Public Works Minister himself to this very region 1 route. He told the nation the president would commission her soon. 2 months later, the people were still boarding an 87-year-old boat in the dark because the vessel sat awaiting on the presidential commissioning and never came online, which never came in time. A new boat tied up at the wharf while the old one carried our people into the Atlantic. If you want a single image of how this country treats its interland, its interland folks. That is it. That is it. We can't say enough about the callous way that this matter and the way they treat the indigenous people in particular. In particular, because they treat their supporters the same way. Treat their supporters, and well, if they perceive you to be opposed to them, worse, as a countryman, I say worse yet.
Big up to Rasta Empress. Moderation is in the flight, right? We got so much going on right now in the chat. Big up to everyone that's a part of this presentation. And an extra big up to all of those that's going to catch us in the rewind in the future. Trevor, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Marcia saying was looking after. Okay. We still live, we right here, and we still live. So you could do your thing and still listening while we highlight all of these headlines coming in. We here in the top cup analyzing this thing, you know, giving us some insights with what's taking place right here. You hear some more.
If that feel worse yet, and then Mark Phillips, my God, when you think that Mark Phillips, as I've said before, was a chief of staff of the Guyana Defense Force, a man who was privileged to attend one of the most prestigious military academy in the world. And Mark Phillips at the press conference there, according to them young people, he looked thin. Mark Phillips, look, it was embarrassing last night at the press conference.
It's too early.
Trevor's saying that the Prime Minister did speak about the tragedy. Thanks for clarifying that for us, Trevor, and for pointing out that Mia Motley would have highlighted what went down with the tragedy. I don't know if persons might have missed it. I didn't get a chance to verify that she did speak. So right now, we hear two different sides. One person saying, look, the mayor didn't, Honorable PM didn't, and one person is saying that she did. I can check it out and analyze. And, you know, it's important that we make sure that we stay focused on what's going on with all of these details coming in with the MV Barima. I'm telling you, there's so much. Guyana is no longer a democracy under the PPP government. Big up yourself, Navjo, and thanks for dropping them insights into the comment section. I'm being a frequent traveler right here with Delta9 Media.
And I just lean over and I whisper loud like you voice like me, you can't talk secret. I said, my God, look at this, Mark Phillips. And look at Mark Phillips there. Look at the interaction with E and Leroy Smith about this. He said the opposition will recognize Mark Phillips. When the opposition called on Ejil to resign, Mark Phillips responded to that, is the opposition will recognize. And listen to this arrogant, I almost call a bad word. I got called tail myself.
Then the boat start to come out and look plenty boat. And eventually one comes straight to us and collect us. Yeah.
They pray whole night and pray.
Whole night. Non-stop praying.
Somebody don't rescue me.
Scream for help, make it hose.
Someone being hollering like me attack like that.
I was doing whistle.
Some would have died. Even though the collapse already. You can't put the time in the water. You told me the collapse already. I've been up since 9 o'clock, 9:30 time, till 7 o'clock next month in the sea. Yeah.
Then the boat start to come out and look plenty boat. And eventually one comes straight to us and collect us. Yeah.
They pray whole night and pray.
Whole night. Non-stop praying.
Somebody don't rescue me.
Scream for help, make it hose.
be the next Sam Hines. They must promise you another term or 2 more terms. Because we don't hear from you. We ain't hearing nothing from you all the time. Use another rubber stamp. But you come out now to defend a crooked bishop. You just embarrass yourself. Any little respect that people had for you, it gone. Cause you come for this, you come for defend a bishop. And look how he fold your hand beside you like a little child, listening to you, lying fee. But the president will make his decision on his team. You know the president talk for himself. The president don't talk for himself. The president don't make no decision. Ali don't make no decision. You come out to talk a wash of shit with your mouth. You do anything for the army? You're puffing up your chest. Come for justify your sacrifice. But you ever do anything for the army? You fail the army. And you want to fail the country now? Go back in your shell now. Go back in your shell. Apparently, you trying to be the next Sam Hines. They must promise you another term or 2 more terms. Because we don't hear from you.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm not.
Delon Marcus. Tell
What's
us
your name, Delon?
Marcus. Yeah. Tell us about the moment you.
Yeah, well, we go there. It's on Monday. Monday we go there. We say about time, right? It's about around 11 o'clock. Scan the beach. Pick up. Tell the Coast Guard them come and tell me that the body then drifting out in the sea, right? So we gone, around 5:30. And left and we go far out in the sea, right? So we had nobody out there, but the place they get dark and we had no light. We drive now and pick up a girl.
Big up to everybody from Mocha. Mocha. Big up yourself to all the persons from Mocha in the live presentation. International Digital Connection. Canada, Mocha, Barbados, New York, PA, all over the globe there, This community is international and we just network with one another.
We coming with the girl now. Like the man even we want to take out the girl from the boat, not we just try to structure up and bring she. Yesterday we got out again. See about 4 persons drifting in the river. Tie up one man, we tie up on the boat, and we bring the one man to the Coast Guard.
Yeah. You born and go in Georgia?
Yeah, right there, man. We live far from here, right down there.
You think that's the Coast Guard? Yeah. And whoever else is responsible.
Yeah.
Should they use more of your support from this area, this village?
Yeah, well, search? Well, remember now, after the boat sank, nobody in a car, we forgot, we just load up different load up of German gas on the night. We got on the search. Yeah.
How has this affected you? Tell us how you feel after you just.
Well, it's me, the man, almost all in the dead body all the time to tie them up and put them in it.
Yeah. Wow.
How do you feel?
I'm not feeling no way. It's normal.
All right, any other question? No. Thank you, my boy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm not.
Delon Marcus. Tell us
What's your name, Delon?
Marcus.
Marcus.
Yeah.
Tell us about the moment you.
Yeah, well, we go there. It's on Monday. Monday we go there. We say about time, right?
Updates, and more updates on the MV Barima.
A natural way to stay ready, baby. 'Cause I'm ready for you, Mr. C. The ultimate male supplement. Men's total wellness formula. Packed with essential nutrients for men's health. She'll call you Mr. C.
100% wild-crafted sea moss. Only the best, 'cause you deserve nothing less. 8 Butterfly.
8 Butterfly Black Seed, loaded with antioxidants and essential nutrients for your body's needs. Breathe better, feel better, live healthier. All the benefits of black seed oil without the taste. 8 Butterfly Black Seed Capsule.
Big up to all the travelers in the chat with us right now. Delta9 Media, we live. Early morning live, early morning flight, networking, bringing together all of these headlines. We're going to hear right now from who? Dr. Campbell, because he got some insights that he definitely shared while he did this interview with who? Y'all see the face already. Gordon Mosley, one of the most popular and insightful journalists in the country. Here we're going on right here.
This morning.
Morning, Gordon.
It's good to have you joining us.
I'm trying. I feel like you're saying, Guyana. I'm trying.
Yeah, I know you were out there offshore, the Essequibo, at the scene where the recovery efforts are on the way. Based on what you would have seen over that time that you were out there, what can you tell us this morning, Dr. Campbell?
Whilst I was out there, I think on the live, I expressed dissatisfaction with what I saw. I expected to see many more vessels involved in the search and recovery effort. I wasn't able to get to ground zero, so to speak, where the Barima went down, simply because MP Sherrod Duncan had been arrested. But on the way there, we were not far away, we were just about 30 minutes away. I was dissatisfied with what I saw. All I saw were private operators, private people, and the leader of the opposition as well. Some of those private people had been contracted by him. Some were operating independently, who were moving around and looking for, at that point, as much as we tried to keep hope alive and say rescue, it was more of a recovery effort at that point. Now, what also bothered me in at least one body that we came upon, that body was starting to decompose. And my worry remains that we will never recover all of the bodies from this tragedy. And that several of those bodies that will eventually be recovered, there will be only DNA testing perhaps will allow us to identify who those persons were. And in fact, I think I saw in the news sometime today that of the bodies recovered, about 20-something remain unidentified. And this might be just as I feared because of the decomposition that is already taking place.
And so have you been in contact with officials who are part of the official search and recovery operation? Have they been briefing those of you who were out there?
As is normal with any national crisis under the PPP administration, and I hate to make this political, but I must go there. As is normal with any crisis under this PPP administration, there is no briefing, no involvement of the opposition. They have not taken any steps whatsoever to call us to a meeting and to brief us on the efforts. What I know about the current efforts would perhaps be the same that you know, that which is available through the media and through folks like myself and the leader opposition who ventured out to sea. So no, there's been no engagement by the government on this matter. And perhaps understandably so, because I'm not going to be shy in saying that I think significant responsibility rests on the government of Guyana. And there's tiered responsibility, layered responsibility. There are some things that have happened at the level of operations. We are told that the count, passenger count, and more than likely the cargo count, the tonnage on board the vessel, that we do not have accurate data. So there are issues at the operational level.
Complete mischief. So what we have here
The government recently introduced a ticketed system, an online ticketed system. There are still loopholes in the system where Ms. Faria or Mr. Chase can go up to the vessel and purchase a ticket and hop on. There's still other people who, as the vessel is about to take off, would say, hey, hold up for me, run and jump on the vessel. You're not on the manifest. So there were several loopholes in the system, and I suspect that the investigation would look in that direction. But there are loopholes in the system. To answer your question, an incorrect manifest should not hamper the recovery, rescue, whatever they want to call it, operation. If I was not on the manifest, I'm sure my family would know I was on that boat. So what the government is asking for people who have not, been on the manifest to come forward and give us the names of the persons who might have went on that vessel unticketed. So that's where we are right now. It's really, really a tragedy of immense proportions. It's something to behold.
Have you been able to speak to any survivors yourself, Travis?
I have. I've spoken to many survivors, and sometimes as journalists, people believe we don't have feelings, but the survivors, all of them have the same story, that the boat was overloaded, it was taking in water,
real thing,
and there was indeed a strong wave that capsized it, and it eventually went down.
And so the reports of the survivors contradicts what the government's official position is on what happened with that vessel. I do not see how survivors in such a traumatic situation would be able to get their stories to line up.
Exactly.
And so it raises more questions. Why is the government claiming that these things that the survivors are claiming is not the conditions which existed at the time that the vessel went down?
Last evening, the government held a press conference around 8 p.m. And during that press conference, that was the most forthcoming I've heard them. The minister responsible for transport, the one Edgel, he admitted that the Transport and Harbors Department, MARAD, whatever agency he was getting information from at that time regarding this vessel, misled him. Inaccurate manifest.
Wow.
What exactly happened on the boat, the tonnage on the boat. He admitted that it's criminal, quote unquote, it's criminal behavior, and he's going to deal with them. So
wow,
we are left to wonder who really is telling the truth. All of the survivors that the journalists here have spoken to are giving the same story. The only different story we're getting is one from government. And in covering these stories, years in, out, I would wish to rely on the survivor story.
Yeah.
And what, as you spoke to them, what stood out for you in this experience, this ordeal that they went through?
That the boat was overloaded and that it was taking in water.
Yeah, and that they were fixing parts while they were moving, because we hear other persons mention it, and then another person came and mentioned that they were doing repairs, right? So it's like, how persons able to just come together with the same story after going through some trauma of waiting 3, 4, 5 hours in the Atlantic Ocean, in tropical waters, my tired, all types of stuff could have happened to them, and then they just randomly make up this story when they had time to put it together, as we analyze some more.
That is exact. Those two things stood out to me. The boat was overloaded, it was taken in water. They gave an estimation of around 200 persons on the boat. The government is saying it's 117 plus. The survivors are saying that's a lie. It's more than, or just about 200 passengers who were on that boat heading to Port Kaituma, Region 1, Northwest District.
Was the captain of the MV Barima able to say and make any public statements before being taken into custody?
None at all. He is a the minute he was rescued, he was questioned by government and police. He was also taken to the hospital, tested, and into the lockups.
Is it standard practice to test the captain of a boat that has gone down or encountered problems in circumstances like these? Is it normal practice to immediately test them for illegal or unauthorized substances in the system?
It could be. It could be standard practice, but I believe the government and the police, they were working with certain information. They might have been told from other survivors, well, look, we smell.
That's the Empress is saying, here comes the blame game. Here comes the blame game. PA, thanks for being a part of the live. PA is saying good morning to the venerable host, Delta9 Media, and all the astute patriots in the chat every time, PA. Thanks for tuning in and for being moderation on the flight. Big up to all the travelers in the chat right now. Thanks for being a part of this live presentation. Edward, we're going on. When Egil goes what? Edward is saying, well, when Egil goes, then what? Well, when Egil goes, then there's competent persons, there's caring persons, there's right-thinking persons that will fill that position and make sure that we do our best that things like this is no longer a possibility or a reality that can happen in the near future. Right? It's a serious thing, you know. Hundreds of persons, well, more than 100 persons would have lost their life. Many of whom were children. So Edward is asking a powerful question right there. When Egil goes, what? Big up yourself. Thanks for being a part of the live presentation, buddy. Thanks for making this live what it is. Dunsford, thanks for tuning in.
The marijuana in the boat, we smelled marijuana coming from the captain's stock. We saw them drinking, we saw something. And by virtue of that information, they went ahead and tested them, and they were high readings of marijuana.
As you were covering the story, though, did you come across any information where survivors or anyone else was able to say, we suspect that they were under the influence?
I never got that information until the government revealed it last night. And I rather suspect that I'll keep you informed that as soon as those crew members are released, or if they're released from custody, I am pretty sure they're going to find us and speak to us and tell us exactly what happened.
What's going on. And so the relatives, have you spoken to any of the relatives of those persons who did not make it?
So you're calling me from Georgetown now. I'm in Georgetown now. If I take you to where the operations are happening, which is at Region 3 in Essequibo, you will see hundreds of people there who have still not gotten a word, who have still not certain where their loved ones are. Remember, we're dealing with over 200 people here, or close to 200 people here. 67 have been rescued, 11 bodies retrieved. Of these 67 rescued, 35 of them were not on the manifest. I hope that paints the picture there for you.
At least 50% of those, around 50% of those rescued were not, there's no record of them having boarded the MV Barima.
Wow.
There you go. And so we don't know exactly where these people are, how many bodies are under that wreckage, in that wreckage, because there were people who were asleep in their vehicles when the boat capsized. So we don't know the full tally until, you know, this may take a lot of 2-3 months before we can get conclusive evidence on it.
Has Guyana, I know that there was that school fire some years ago. Has there been any other major tragedy like that, mass casualty like that on the water?
Not that we can recall. This is
a perception to build in your mind. this is who I am and this is that and that is that. You got to be careful with them, you know. But I like to tell people I have nothing to prove to nobody, because it's not what man know about me, it's what God knows about me. And in every season and in this time, people, there's so much lies, there's so much deception, there's so much things happening out there that you see it. And for me, whatever the Lord lay on my heart to speak, I'm going to speak it. If not, I'll be still knowing that God is God. You understand what I mean to tell you this morning? So don't be carried away and drag every minute emotion, drag yourself, come back, sir, come back, sir. Listen, it's just horrible. And it will not stop because of the assignment. It's you got to know, Joanne. You must know what you're up to. It's you must know. You know what I mean? You can't say you're fighting for something and break it up at the same time. You must know. You must know. You know? So many things I'm dealing with. So many things I'm dealing with. I said, Lord, you know, I'm not okay. He knows I'm not okay. You know? But it's my faith, it's his joy. He will take all my weaknesses and he will strengthen me. That's who he is. You think in this time and this season, any man out there could help you? Huh? You think where Guyana is at right now, any leader got the answer? We all need to pay attention, you know. It's good every time so often, not only to repent, but to keep it moving, you know, pick up your cross. You don't do the same thing the same way, the same, you know, you get the same results. It's just a set of confusion, a set of nonsense. People looking for relevance. People looking, listen, I don't have to show you or try to boast who I am and how much power I have and all of that. No, that's not for me. The only powerful, you know, is Jesus. So I am nothing without him. So I have nothing to prove. I have no point. I have none of that. None of that to do. So I want to encourage us, you know, even at this time, Samuel, how are you? You know, even at this time, the amount of deception out there, you see. But as for me, we will keep our eyes on the hills, yeah, from whence.
Eyes on the focus, right? As we analyze updates upon updates from survivors, from right-thinking persons involved, from the politicians that are a part of the leadership of the nation. So many things for us to analyze. Persons are asking the question, given the fact of what went down with the MV Barima, should Ejil resign? We're going to pull that poll question up again to see what the participation is like. But we're analyzing other headlines. Look, so much things going on internationally and locally. There's a particular headline that we needed to deal with on the channel for a while now. But the way that everything else has been going on with MV Barima, Farm Gate, this, that, and the third, this headline keep getting left off of the live presentation and sometimes even off of the pre-recordings as well. But there were major updates, and it's something that we definitely got to make sure that we update you, the Delta9 travelers, with right now. Let's get into these details with what's going on with Nolan Wells, a young man that went out with some of his friends, his Caucasian friends. Young black male, never made it home. There's a number of developments and persons are talking about it internationally and in the diaspora. Let's hear what's going on.
Okay, baby, because they ain't about this life. Okay, mouth open, story jump out, and these little children that skunk out water, they're like talk. So now they feel because there were no consequences, no search warrants, no arraignments, they think shit is sweet, right? So now they on social media talking and posting that Nolan did in fact leave Horn Island. He ended up back on the mainland at a pool party and was beaten to death, allegedly. Like, so imagine you are the parent of the friends who helped them to cover this shit up, right? Told them to shut their mouth, stop talking, delete your social media, scrub your social media, and you retain attorneys for them. But in your haste to help them cover up a crime, your dumbass forgot that you can't control other people's kids, baby. And these children like talk. They're like talk. And no one has instructed them that what they have now done is made themselves, they're about to be subpoenaed to become witnesses.
Yeah, there's a lot of developments in the case. A lot of developments. Just recently, a couple hours ago. Here these.
We have a major break tonight to tell you about in the death of a North Texas teen. It was supposed to be a fun day of fishing for 3 young men at Lake Ray Hubbard. Instead, it turned deadly after the group jumped in to swim, and 18-year-old Daniel Irving never resurfaced. Now, months later, police have arrested a 19-year-old they say tried to cover up and hide what actually happened that day.
One of the reasons white people hate black people is because we cannot tolerate black joy. We cannot tolerate black intelligence. We cannot tolerate black beauty. We cannot tolerate black confidence. We cannot tolerate black camaraderie. We cannot tolerate anything that frees a black person. There's a level of racism that I think hits differently for black people than it does for Asian people or Hispanic people or Middle Eastern people or Native Americans even. Each one of those things that people think regarding other races are different with black people, I think. Because again, we don't like black people to be educated. We don't like them to be successful. We don't want black judges. We don't want anything for black people that doesn't directly affect and entertain us. So we can have a black nanny. We can have a black house cleaner. We can have a black teacher. We can have a black coach. We can have black players. But only for the specific things that we feel comfortable with. I think about all those sweet children that have been killed, murdered, when they go out with their white friends. And I think that as much as the trauma of slavery comes down through the DNA, I think also the cruelty of slavery, the desire to hurt, the desire to steal and kill and humiliate and torment and disappear black people is what comes down through the DNA. I think when you do something like that for long enough and you pass it down for the many years that slavery and enslaved people were in chains, that is an instinct with us, cruelty. And I think you can see it in many videos. All the white women and white men that are telling black kids and black families to get the hell out of here, you don't belong. We just don't want you to have more than us, honey. We just don't want you to be prettier. We don't want you to be the beauty standard. We don't want you to be judges or anything like that. We want you to be below us, beneath us. And we've tried so hard to keep you down, and we failed so badly.
Let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments section.
I'm telling you, so we get in mindset of some of the persons that might be the head of some of the households. You never know. Because you gotta have a different mindset to be moving like that as a child. Where did you learn that behavior from?
Between himself and the boy who drowned. That single piece of evidence, a phone, disposed of in the hours after a friend went under and never came back up, is what actually built the criminal case against them. Now hold that thought, because 2,000 miles away, in a case that's captivated this entire country for weeks, there's a phone too. Missing content, deleted messages. A mother says she found herself before investigators ever got their hands on the device. If a phone was enough to bring real criminal charges in Texas, what does that mean for the one sitting at the center of the Nolan Wells case? Tonight, that question, alongside a fresh autopsy finding, an FBI statement, and a young woman whose account of Nolan's final minutes.
You see, when we thinking is just local, this thing going on, international, you know. It's an international kind of situation. It's a global network. It's called privilege, right? And as long as that system exists, you're going to have persons that are going to have certain mindsets that are going to create situations like what we're seeing right here. And we're going to hear about these updates, you know, and analyze what's going on with this. Local, international. Notice the similarities and realize how important it is for us to look out for one another, because they're looking at us as the same. And I'm going to highlight that right here, so that we could get it, because two of the largest ethnicities in Guyana always somehow seem to have this big divide. But we remember that in ancestry, this is the facts right here.
India used to be called, long time ago, Eastern Ethiopia. Everybody knows that, right? No? Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. You also probably heard there is a big river in India called Ganges. Okay. To be frank, till 2 years back, I did not know what the meaning of the word Ganges. I simply know Ganges is Ganges. Do you know the name Ganges is one of the strongest and famous emperors of Ethiopia? That's right. Do you think some crazy Aryans would name a big river in India after an African emperor? Would not. Simple logic says that.
Simple logic says that. And the history is right there. So we could realize that they see us as the same people. Just analyze what's going on in Region 11 right now with Mandami. I ain't on the Republican side nor the Democrat side, but just calling a spade a spade. Look at what's going on with Mandami right now as we analyze some more of these details coming in with Nolan Wells. International case. Everyone is definitely talking about these updates.
What his friends have said. Let's get into it. Before we go any further, it's worth being upfront about something. These are two completely separate legal cases involving two separate families, two separate states, and two separate sets of facts. Nothing in this episode is claiming they're the same case, or that what happened to one boy definitively tells us what happened to the other. What we're doing tonight is something narrower and arguably more useful. Laying these two stories next to each other, honestly, to understand what an actual adjudicated outcome in one case can teach us about what's still possible and still unproven in the other. Let's start with what actually happened in Texas, because it's the reason this update exists at all. 18-year-old Daniel Irving went to Lake Ray Hubbard on April 13th with two friends, 19-year-old Lucas Rower and a 17-year-old. According to an arrest affidavit, all three jumped from a railroad bridge into the water below. Daniel surfaced once, called out for help, and then went under. He never came back up. What happened next is the part that eventually produced criminal charges. According to that same affidavit, Rower and the younger teen didn't call 911. They didn't call Daniel's mother. Instead, they
a conflict in the stories, and we are not stopping until we know what happened to Nolan Wells. So you can send all the hate and vitriol you want. Have at it. That from our friends over at NAACP. straight out to Joseph Scott Morgan. We got an all-star panel lined up to analyze what's happening at this hour. As we are learning, the FBI has swooped into this investigation. And that is not disparaging local law enforcement, although they did apparently jump the gun at the get-go and say no foul play suspected. Well, I suspect foul play because I don't know any differently. Maybe it will turn out to all be an accident. But as of right now, we need a full-on investigation. Joe Scott Morgan, before I give you a very, very long intro bio, where's the throat? I know we have deep red markings on the occipital bone that's in the back of the thank you. This is directly from the autopsy. We want you to see what the family has seen. Don't you think, Joe Scott Morgan, that the second medical examiner might need the throat to figure out what happened? I mean, Joe Scott, it's on fire, claims that Nolan Wells had been lynched, that he had been strangled, asphyxiated. Do I believe a lynching occurred? No, I do not believe that. But I do know I need to see the neck.
Yeah, and let me tell you where the neck is. Or the organs of the neck, as it's referred to. These neck structures are actually being held by the Mississippi State Medical Examiner's Office, and they don't just arbitrarily hold things like this, Nancy. This is something that would commonly go with the body when the body is released. So I deduce the fact that they have seen something there that they're trying to hold on to from an evidentiary value. Remember, the state still has an ongoing investigation in this case, and they see evidentiary value in this. And yes, I know that the second autopsy prosector up in D.C. would have liked to have seen this, but he understands this, why they would retain it. And it is being retained, I can promise you that, as are other tissue samples. But the problem is that when you get into these structures in the neck, one of the things you're trying to assess is, was this a drowning? Also, is there any kind of trauma? If people will just put their hands right here in the midline of your neck, you'll feel that kind of cartilaginous body there. That's cartilage, right? That can be fractured. Need I remind you, Epstein, right? So you have to examine this. Also, here's our word, Nancy. They're talking about the hyoid is missing as well. So they don't have that. They've retained
Joe Scott Morgan, because show me, Joe Scott. You and I, hyoid, we know what it is because you and I have handled a ton of asphyxiation, ligature, and manual.
Could you imagine that? In a case like this, parts are missing. Sounds suspicious, don't it? Sounds familiar, don't it? You think it's ordinary things persons has got to deal with internationally? Life as an immigrant is not easy. Life internationally, even though you have the opportunities to earn, you still got to deal with all kind of thing, right? And we're hearing about parts being missing from the autopsy and a number of other implications coming in with this case. Things that we really got to analyze. Is the grass truly green on the other side? When you have one of the wealthiest nations in the world, one of the few countries in the world that can supply itself with food, clothing, shelter, the three essentials. Listen, let me analyze some more of this, because it's important that persons get a full spectrum perspective on what's going on internationally, and locally as well, so that we could make certain choices and make certain wise choices and realize just how important it is to protect the blessing, the great country that Guyana is. Let me hear some more insights coming in from persons, on what's going on with this Nolan Wells situation.
When I said this, I wish more of our people could recognize that a lot of times when non-Blacks are enjoying your company, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have real fellowship or alliance with you. A lot of Black people have a hard time understanding racism because they build deep bonds with people outside of their race, having fun together and enjoying hobbies. Whole time, you're really just an object of entertainment. I came under heavy scrutiny, especially from my own people. But Nolan Wells is an unfortunate example of what I was talking about. While we may extend our whole hearts out to these others, they never extend their whole heart out to us. More often than not, even sometimes unbeknownst to them, the only reason they're hanging around you is because they're exploiting your entertainment value or your resource value in some way, shape, or form. Don't be blind just because you wish racism doesn't exist. It exists whether you want to see it or not. Teach your children to be very mindful and very cautious. You don't have to teach them to hate anybody, to teach them to be aware of themselves and their surroundings. Y'all remember when I said this?
I'm telling you. Very important that you be self-aware, know to read the room. You understand? Just take your time and look around and analyze what's going on. Analyze the facial expressions. Analyze the change in languages. Analyze the change in tone and conversation. You understand, Mr. What I'm saying? So you could know the areas that you shouldn't frequent, or how much or how close you should interact with some, right? I'm telling you, there's so many things for us to make sure we stay focused on, because listen, if you play a fool in this world, you're definitely gonna get foolish prizes. And a lot of times, sometimes it might not be that we directly want to be foolish, but we just move in a way that other persons might look and say, hey, that's something I might never do. You're talking about over and over again, we keep hearing this thing happening to persons, right? And you know what? Yeah, I hear how everything starts to seem as if it's gonna end up being a whole long drawn out situation to even get to the bottom of the autopsy parts left out. They got asked for this, asked for that. Listen, man. We gotta give the wisdom to the youth so they could understand how they gotta move, because guess what? You hear how elders are thinking from certain groups. So you gotta put the wisdom and say, listen, this is how some persons this thing. This is now all persons this thing. And that's how you got to maneuver, because they got those, not all, but they got those that just might. Pick up to all the travelers right now. The flight would have landed right here on Delta9 Media. Early morning flight, I'm telling you. I like the early morning flight. Big up to all the travelers that are live with us. Everybody that's going to catch this one in the rewind in the future. Thumbs up the live on your way in. Thumbs up the live on your way out as well, if you haven't thumbs up the live already. And subscribe if this is your first time traveling with us and you would like to be a part of our next live presentation, or get the updates when we upload pre-recorded videos. Millions and millions of views. Millions of views. I'm telling you, a whole lot of content up on the channel for you to definitely update yourself with everything that's going on in Guyana and in the diaspora. And if you're looking for another way to support Delta9 Media, other than making sure that you subscribe, become a channel member. Look, the barcode up on the screen, so you could just scan it with your phone and you could become a channel member. Or you would just need to navigate down to the bottom of the screen and use the little plus symbol, and that will give you an opportunity to become a channel member. And other channels that we have here on the platform as well. Well, what's going on? Other channels that we got up on the platform. I don't know why. I don't know why my overlays are not coming up. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to do this another time. But nonetheless, you know, sometimes just get the Bermuda Triangle. I'm guessing we're truly, well, there we go. Boom, it's up right now. So these are the other platforms that you can connect with us on. Listen, we're building up Delta9 No Filter. If you haven't subscribed to Delta9 No Filter yet, subscribe to Delta9 No Filter right here on YouTube. As soon as we get it up to 1,000 subs and the right amount of watch hours, we got some different types of live, different types of content that we definitely will be flooding that platform with. Remember, we only putting up content like what we put up over here, over there, so you'll know it's saying Delta9 Media. But when that channel gets to where it needs to be, and we got the community over there as well, we definitely going to take it to another level on that channel. And if you're looking to take the conversation beyond the veil, beyond this exoteric conversation that we would have had for 2 hours, and you want to get into some of the esoterics, then guess what? Gnosis Focus is the channel for you. Listen, we got thousands of books, thousands of videos, thousands of pieces of material for you to analyze. Look, the books is up on your screen right now as well, so that you could participate in the information that is up here and up on Gnosis Focus. That's the barcode right there, where we get into the study of astrology, alchemy, and a whole lot of other esoterics for those who are into the scholarship. I'm telling you, so many things for you to connect with us on. Plus, WhatsApp, because it's important that you able to just drop a video in there if you see anything that you would like us to highlight on one of the platforms, or anything that you would like us to get into further research and present on. Drop it into the WhatsApp group, and definitely we will consider it and present it. Big up to all the travelers right now. Thanks for being a part of this live yet again. Shouting out to everyone that's going to catch it in the rewind. One love. And I will catch you in the next one. Boom. And we out. Big up to all the moderators, all the frequent travelers, everybody who dropped comments into the comment section. One love every time. Rasta Empress, PA, every single person in the live right now. Everybody. Carlisle, Legal Alien, Marcia. Big up to all the travelers. Trevor, big up yourself, King. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next flight.
8 Butterfly Sea Moss Powder. Take your daily routine to the next level. Natural vegan superfood powder. Essential multivitamin powder made just for you.